Okay, everybody, let's talk about your Uncompromised Journal. All right, let's talk about the Uncompromised Journal. So I created this thing as a companion to my book, Uncompromised, as a way to help people create the mindset and heart set around appreciating their life as it is while they're going for their uncompromised life, right? Their life on their terms. And I wanted something that was beyond just a general sense of personal growth. And that's a big thing that I do in my work is I just don't want people to feel like they're growing or get a sense that they feel better about things, but actually create some means by which they can chart their development as a human being. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little tour of the journal. So let me scooch a little closer to you, all right? And let me give you the spiel here. So I start with a little bit of a welcome letter, and then I go right to the components of the journal itself, explanation of the components itself. The first two pages are the on the left here is your morning work, and then on the right is your evening. Now I'm going to flip ahead to the next page, and I'm going to pull up a graphic here. You're going to start your day with gratitude. Now, why are you going to start your day with gratitude? You're going to start your day with gratitude because once you get a mindset, and as I said before, a heart set of appreciation and gratitude for your life as it is now. No, I don't care how rough around the edges your life really is. I mean, I've gone through some times where I didn't even know how I could draw another breath. But to begin to have gratitude for just breathing, for just your child, for just a good meal, for that you can use your eyes, just for anything if it's in real rough shape. And as things are better and as they're exceptional and outstanding, to begin your day having fantastic relationship with the truth of the wonderful blessings that surround you it's the best way to receive more goodness, blessings, and more to be grateful for. Because if you don't have eyes to see all the good that's all around you now, you certainly aren't going to create any more, right? Because even if you had it, you wouldn't see it. So start your day with gratitude. Okay, now by the way, if you've not watched my videos on personal standards and the standards of living uncompromised, you might want to do that now because I'm going to go into some explanations of how to use those things. And if you've not watched the videos, it's probably going to slow down or hamper your understanding. Okay, so next thing you're going to do is you're going to write out your personal standards. And as I talk about in your personal standards in that video, you're going to want to write them and say them and lock them in with the emotional content that matches the intention of each personal standard. And as you go through all four of those, you're really locking in for the day who you want to be, who you really are, and what specifically you're going to do to bring those qualities about in your life. All right, after that, we're going to go right on to the standards of living uncompromised. Now, what I love about this is we have here a very brief definition of what integrity is, what enthusiasm is, what each of these qualities are. And the beginning of the sentence, today I will live integrity by, today I will live enthusiasm by. Now, this is the part that most people that I do this with slow down and they say they don't know what to write and they don't know. Well, I have a couple solutions. One I'm going to give you now and the second one in just a moment. The first solution is, well, write. So you got to do your work. I mean, your work is to think about, okay, how will I specifically live integrity today? And you're going to have to do some things and maybe do some things differently. And it's in that thinking, it's in that level of consciousness and being very deliberate that our life begins to change. So do your work here. All right, the next bit's coming in a second. At the end of the morning, right, at the end of your morning journaling, you're going to sign your name. You're going to put your John Hancock right there and really agree. This is the commitment I'm making to myself today. Okay? Now in the evening, you're going to start your evening work with, by the way, my recommendation is you'll do it whenever works for you. But I find I've got to do it around 7, 8 o'clock at night because if I go later than that, it's 10 o'clock or 10:30 and I wake up and who the heck wants to get out of bed then? Now, in some cases, that's an incredible act of, self-discipline to get up at 10:30 when you've been kind of dozing in and out for 30 minutes and do your journal even though you don't want to. But who the hell wants to do your journal at 10:30 when you went to bed at 10 o'clock? I mean, nobody does. So I find that I've got to do it when my night's pretty much wound down, my day's done, which has allowed me the chance to handle all my prior commitments as well. If you do it too early in the day, you might not have had time to sufficiently do those things. But Going on to your evening, you're going to write your standards again, and again, speak them in a way that matches your intention. All right, and in the space below your personal standards, you see you've got a couple sets of boxes there, and that's a place to really score yourself and how you did with the standards and your personal standards. So I'm just going to go along with our friend here, Chris Stevenson. So I'm patient father. I pause before I speak. Now the first one, it shows 80%, and this is an example of a personal standard which doesn't have a number attached to it. So I do this 4 times, and therefore you can say I'm 100% or 75% or what have you. I'm patient. I'm a patient father. I pause before I speak. This father is going to have to give a general sense of, well, I paused a bunch of times, but there were those couple times where I didn't, and I got a little frustrated. And so in this case, he gives himself an 80%, and there's space for a comment. Good. And pause, just that extra beat apparently maybe he wants. The second one, I'm peaceful. I meditate 5 minutes twice a day. Now that's pretty obvious. You either did or you didn't do it. And in this case, 100% done. I'm a focused listener. I'm 100% with who I'm with. 50% no multitasking. So again, Chris would say here that, look, I part of the time I was, part of the time I wasn't. I was doing maybe a little texting or messing around, and I just have to stop with that. I'm an athlete. I stretch each morning. He gave himself 95%, no comment. Maybe, he left one little bit out, or he kind of rushed a little bit, but he really did a great job. So he's going to give himself credit, 95% here. And then the same thing goes with the standards of living uncompromised. Okay? I'm just going to grab the last one, endurance, reading 10 pages. Well, he read 7 pages, so he gave himself a 70%. What this does is it feeds right into the rest of the evening's work. So today I learned to notice that sometimes, so look under today I learned to notice, sometimes I'm more productive when I slow down and it's hard to not multitask. So the journal gives you space to create some kind of more general learnings for yourself. Now, if you look across the space of the whole page itself, you'll see the tip of an arrow on the left, and then the arrow really starts within the standards of living uncompromised from the morning and continues right through the section that says, tomorrow I will. And then that arrow continues really on the next day. We'll get to that in a moment. So as you're going through your evening, you're going to look and go, okay, taking into account my whole day, tomorrow I'm going to read right after dinner. I'm going to hide my phone under my pillow between 6 and 8, so maybe there's no multitasking or whatever the purpose of that is. And then again, Chris ends his day in gratitude. Writing again, I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for that. And then signing your name and taking accountability for your day. That's just integrity. Okay. Now we're going to flip the page. I'm going to skip over gratitude and personal standards as we look at the day 2 of this person's journal and go right over to the standards of living uncompromised. Now, remember I told you there was 2 things I was going to do to help you create the standards or create means by which you can work your standards of living uncompromised. The first one being suck it up, do your thinking. The second one is, well, the day before you looked at these are the things I will do tomorrow. So you take those things that you will do tomorrow and you let them feed you. Let them create the fodder, the information you need to put those things that you wanted to learn and do in place. And so this person was going to put the phone under the bed from 6 to 8. Well, it takes courage. So he's aware, today I'm going to live courage by doing this hard thing. Endurance. I'm going to live endurance by getting in bed at 10. Right? Go on through all 4 of those. That should make sense. If you got any questions or comments, just write them below, and I'll share more of my thoughts about that. But that should make sense, and that actually feeds the learning you got from yesterday, feeds your action for today, and then you get to incorporate it through your day and ultimately through your life. And again, of course, then you finish the afternoon and evening and get on with what you learned and noticed today. Tomorrow you will. And then gratitude and all the way out. But I'd love to hear your testimony. If anybody's used it out there, and as you go ahead and use this yourself, let me know any questions you've got, any thoughts you have, any questions or challenges, as well as any successes. All right, peace. If you got something from this video, click like and subscribe in the center of the screen. There's a lot more videos and interviews on my channel. If you'd like to learn more about coaching Uncompromised, hit the icon on the left. If you'd like to see some more videos on living uncompromised, tap the icon on the right. If you have any questions, comments, or if you want me to cover any other topic, just write me below.